Now, I'm sure this isn't an unpopular opinion. I like American Dad more than Family Guy. Let's be kind of honest, Family Guy has kind of been going downhill for a while, whereas American Dad has actually managed to stay about as fresh as it was when it started. I blame the fact that a lot of American Dad's jokes hold up better.
Hey, Steve, I'm just telling a few people. I'm making belt buckles now if you want to buy one. Check it out! He's got red eyes from smoking weed.
I really can't believe you're an educator, Brian.
My job's mostly administrative.
Either that or it's the fact that ironically around the time American Dad got less political, Family Guy got more. So anyway, the episode begins with Steve having a dream about getting a tennis lesson, culminating in being jump scare woken up by Stan falling out the window into a bush, dislocating his shoulder. Apparently for the past 8 years and counting, Stan's converted the Smith residence into a haunted house for the neighborhood, which is consistently so scary, Francine pees herself, and based on what you see of his decorations later in the episode, they're fine. Not amazing, but fine. The thing is, the Smiths' former transient mountain man neighbor Buckle is also putting on a haunted house. Buckle, for his contribution to the night, is using Halloween to try out some ideas he had back when he was a Disney Imagineer. To be more specific, ideas that had been deemed too upsetting, and, well, they are a smidge intense.
Kill you!
Sending Stan into something of an existential crisis. Meanwhile, in Steve's B-plot, after recovering from his dislocated shoulder, he's starting a night of trick-or-treating with his friends Barry and Snot. Steve is a GoBot because he's that kind of insufferable. Snot is just wearing his gym clothes because his mom sold his dragon costume for dental dams. And Barry is...
I'm Jonah Hill! Or Seth Rogen if I put on Steve's glasses.
American Dad is probably not the first to make that joke and probably won't be the last. Barry is quite literally dressed as Jonah Hill's character from Superbad, who is in essence a fictionalized version of Seth Rogen with Michael Cera acting as his friend Evan when they were teenagers. But before they can begin the night, they have to pick up Toshi. Unfortunately, they catch him in the middle of protesting the samurai costume his mom got for him.
Slam!
In lieu of Toshi not going, his mom asked the boys to accompany Toshi's little sister, Akiko, for the night, with Steve pretty near instantaneously becoming infatuated with her.
He wants you to protect me and have me back by sundown.
Yeah, Akiko, we know. We all can read subtitles. While that's going on, Stan is desperately trying to step up his efforts to make the house scary.
If you want those guts to look real, I suggest using a bolognese. You know, after university, I traveled to Italy, stabbing students.
You know, I'm seriously starting to wonder if Klaus having his brain put into a fish was unrelated to his skiing career. But Stan realizes how out of his league Buckle's house is when Francine comes home from Buckle's place having wet herself.
He has this terrifying Semitic woman that keeps screaming, "Coasters!"
Francine lays out to Stan that his old way of doing things isn't going to cut it anymore. So Stan goes up to Roger's room in the attic to relay the bad news, with Roger currently in the middle of trying to get a pair of jeans on. And after hearing the bad news, Roger points out through talk-singing that all Stan has to do is forget using scary fake stuff. He should use his CIA connection to get scary real stuff like corpses and eyeballs and anything else that would scare people.
I'm gonna get real!
You do that. I'm gonna find out who these black people are.
Which he does later that night, by arranging to have 5 of the most psychotic serial killers flown in to serve as exhibits, which fails only because they aren't doing anything that scary, just sitting there. The issue is that much like sharks in a tank, people can be afraid, but they aren't that scary when there's glass protecting you. So Roger makes a little adjustment to the plan.
I let the prisoners out.
You what?
And after being released, the serial killers cut the power. While that's going on, Steve has elected to stay out past sundown with Akiko, making Toshi don the samurai costume and hunt him down with a real-ass sword. Realizing Toshi's now attempting to kill them, they try to lose him by briefly hiding in a local man's house.
I enjoy dolphins.
But after chasing them down like animals after passing through a waterfall on their way to a party, Steve manages to reason with Toshi and send him home, when it's revealed that Akiko has a crush on a kid named Dougie who can apparently dance. And seeing some of his moves, she's not incorrect. Steve, his plums thoroughly unplucked, decides to just go home. Returning back to the main plot, Stan, Francine, and Roger are still trying to evade the serial killers. After fleeing into the woods and being cornered, the killers get a rather unwelcome surprise. Turns out they ended up near where Toshi was making his egress back home, and he quickly kills them all. And after dealing with the killers, Toshi and the Smiths head back to their respective homes for the night.